Today we are reading Canto 3, Chapter 14, Pregnancy of Deity in the Evening. We start with Chapter 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Sukha Uvacha. Nisamya Kosaravinopavārnitam Hitam. Hare Katham Karana Shukaratmanaha Punaha Sattaprachatam Uddhatanjalir Nachati Tripyo Viduro Dritataha.
Hare Krishna. Sukdev Goswami said, after hearing from the great sage Maitreya about the Lord's incarnation as Varan, Vidura, who had taken a vow, begged him with folded hands to please narrate further transcendental activities of the Lord, since he, Vidura, did not yet feel satisfied.
Text 2. Vidura Uvacha Tenaiva tu Muni Shrestha Harina Yagna Murtina Adidyaityo Hiranyaksho Ata Ityanu Shushvuma.
Sri Vidura said, O chief amongst the great sages, I've heard by display succession that Hiranyakasha, the original demon, was slain by the same form of sacrifices the personality of Godhead, Lord bore.
That's 3. Tasya Chodaratah Kshanim Swadamstragrena Lilaya Daitya Rajasya Cha Brahman Kasmad Detor Abhumridaha.
What was the reason, O Brahmana, for the fight between the demon king and Lord Bor, while the Lord was lifting the earth as his pastime?
That's 4. Sraddhadhanaya Bhaktaya Rohita Janma Vistaram Rishena Trisyati Manaha Param Kautuhalam Hime.
My mind has become very inquisitive, and therefore I am not satisfied with hearing the narration of the Lord's appearance. Please, therefore, speak more and more to a devotee who is faithful.
That's 5. Maitreya Uvacha Sadhu Vira Tvaya Prishtam Avatara Katham Harehe Yatvam Prichasi Martyanam Mrityu Pasavasatanim.
The great sage Maitreya said, O warrior, the inquiry made by you is just befitting a devotee because it concerns the incarnation of the personality of Godhead. He is the source of liberation from the chain of birth and death for all those who are otherwise destined to die.
That's 6. Yayotana putro muninam hitayarbhakaha mrityotyakriyaiva murdhyandrim aroruha harihe padam.
By hearing these topics from the sage Narada, the son of King Uttanapada Dhruva was enlightened regarding the personality of Godhead, and he ascended to the abode of the Lord, placing his feet over the head of death.
Text 7. Athatrapi tihasoyam rito me varmitaha pura brahmana deva devena devanam anuprichatam.
This history of the fight between the Lord as a boar and the demon Hiranyaksha was heard by me in a year long ago, as it was described by the foremost of the demigods, Brahma, when he was questioned by the other demigods.
Text 8. Ditir dakshaya nikshatar maricham kashyapam patim apatya kama chakame sandhyayam hricha yardika.
Diti, daughter of Daksha, being afflicted with sex desire, begged her husband Kashyapa, the son of Marichi, to have intercourse with her in the evening in order to beget a child.
Text 9. Istvagni jihvam payasa purusham yojisam patim nimlochanti arka akshinam agne agare samahitam.
The sun was setting, and the sage was sitting in a trance after offering oblations to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, whose tongue is the sacrificial fire.
Text 10. Vihiruvacha Esha mam tvatkripe vidvan kama artha sarasanah dunoti dinam vikramya rambham eva matangajah.
In that place, the beautiful deity expressed her desire. O learned one, Cupid is taking his arrows and distressing me forcibly as a mad elephant troubles a banana tree.
Text 11. Sadbhavan dahyamanayaam patninam samriddhibihi prajavatinam bhadram te mahya yuktam anugraham.
Therefore, you should be kind towards me by showing me complete mercy. I desire to have sons and am much distressed by seeing the opulence of my co-wives. By performing this act, you will become happy.
Text 12. भर्तर्याप्तोरुमानानां लोकान् आविशते यशः पतिर्भवद्विधो यासां प्रज्ञया नानुजायते.
A woman is honored in the world by the benediction of her husband, and a husband like you will become famous by having children, because you are meant for the expansion of living entities.
Text 13. पुरापिता न भगवान् चक्षो दीहित्रे वत्सलः कं व्रीमित वरन् सत्ता पृच्छात न पृथक्.
In days long ago, our father, the most opulent Daksha, who was affectionate to his daughters, asked each of us separately whom we would prefer to select as our husband.
14. सविदित्पद्माजानाम्नो भावं सन्तानभावनः त्रयोदशाद्यदात् तासां यास्ते शीलम् अनुव्रताः.
Our well-wishing father Daksha, after knowing our intentions, handed over 13 of his daughters onto you, and since then we have all been faithful.
16. अथ मे कुरु कल्याणं कामं कमललोचन आर्तोपसार्पणं भूमन् अमोघं हि महीयसि.
O lotus-eyed one, kindly bless me by fulfilling my desire. When someone in distress approaches a great person, his pleas should never go in vain.
Text 16. इति तां वीरमारुचः कृपन्नां बहुभाषिणीं पत्याहानुनयं वाच प्रविद्धानाङ्गकश्मलाम्.
O hero Vidura, Diti, being thus afflicted by the contamination of lust and therefore poor and talkative, was pacified by the son of Marichi in suitable words.
Text 17. एष तेऽहं विधास्यामि प्रियं भीरु यच्चिच्छसि तस्याः कामं न कः कुर्यात् सिद्धिस्त्रैवादिति यतः.
O afflicted one, I shall forthwith gratify whatever desire is dear to you, for who else but you is the source of the three perfections of liberation.
18. सर्वाश्रमान् उपादाय स्वाश्रमेण कलत्रवान् व्यसनार् नवम् अत्येति जलयानिर्यथार्णवम्.
As one can cross over the ocean with sea-going vessels, one can cross the dangerous situation of the material ocean by living with a wife. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Indulekha Mataji. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Indulekha Mataji and Deepak Prabhu for the wonderful recitations. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, should we start the program?
Yes, please, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for having me today. I hope all of you all are keeping well. No response.
Yes, Mataji. How are you, Mataji?
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think we should start the thing with the Mangalacharan. Is anyone willing to do, or should I do it today?
If you could do Mataji, it would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पादा सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासा आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much for letting me do the prayers today. Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji, today I think we are going to do, somebody's going to share the screen with the relevant verses, Mataji? No worries. Whoever has to go, it's all right. You all can leave, no problem. We are doing from 10 to 14, isn't it?
That's right,
There's
Mataji.
a simultaneous class going on today. I think Kartichandra Prabhu is doing the rest of the chapter of one of the cantos. So I think they must be in two different groups. So anybody who is willing to go is all right to go, no problem. So we have chapter 14, Mataji, and from 10 to 14, yeah? Okay, fantastic. Do we have any volunteers at all to do the verses? Today we'll talk a bit about Diti, her personality and how she is. Any volunteers? Nobody wants to read. It's okay, I will read it.
I can read Mataji, one verse maybe, Mataji, and then I'll be driving again. So I can read one verse.
Mataji, be careful. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Please do.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 10. Ditir Uvacha. Esamam Tvatkrite Vidvan. Kama Ata Sara Asanaha. Dunoti Dinam Vikramya. Ramabham Iva Matangajaha. Thank you, Mataji. Translation. In that place, the beautiful Diti expressed her desire. O learned one, Cupid is taking his arrows and distressing me forcibly, as a mad elephant troubles a banana tree. Purport. Beautiful Diti, seeing her husband absorbed in trance, began to speak loudly, not attempting to attract him by bodily expression. She frankly said that her whole body was distressed by sex desire because of her husband's presence, just as a banana tree is troubled by a mad elephant. It was not natural for her to agitate her husband when he was in trance, but she could not control her strong sexual appetite. Her sex desire was like a mad elephant, and therefore it was the prime duty of her husband to give her all protection by fulfilling her desire.
Are you okay to do the next one also, or are you going to drive?
I'm okay, Mataji, because not yet. My daughter hasn't come back from cricket, so I can do Mataji. Yes, sorry.
No worries, Mataji. Please do the next one also. It's a small purport.
Yeah.
We'll do up all the 5 together and then we can talk. It's all right. If you can do all the 5, otherwise somebody else can do it.
Sure, Mataji. Tat bhavan daya. Sorry. Tat bhavan daya manayam sapatni patninam samradibihi praja vatinam bhadram te me ayuntam anugraham. Translation. Therefore, you should be kind towards me, showing me complete mercy. I desire to have sons, and I am much distressed by seeing the opulence of my co-wives. By performing this act, you will become happy. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, sexual intercourse for begetting children is accepted as righteous. A person sexually inclined for simple sense gratification, however, is unrighteous. In Dipti's appeal to her husband for sex, it was not exactly that she was afflicted by sex desires, but she desired sons. Since she had no sons, she felt poorer than her co-wife. Therefore, Kashyapa was supposed to satisfy his bona fide wife.
Next verse, please.
Text 12. Bhartari Aptoru. Sorry, Mataji, I am struggling because
Just
I'm on
read
the
the
phone,
just read the
Mataji.
translation,
Would you like me
Mataji.
to do it, Mataji?
Yeah, if it's somebody else, Mataji, only because I'm on the phone, so I was struggling. Sorry, Mataji. My
Okay.
apologies.
Mataji, I can do it.
Please do it. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Bhartarya apturamananam lokan avisate yasah pater bhavet vidho yasham prajaya nanujayate. A woman is honored in the world of the benediction of her husband, and the husband, like you, will become famous by having children because you are meant for the expansion of living entities. Do you want me to read the
Yes,
purport
please,
as well?
Mataji. Yes,
Yeah.
please finish it. It's
Hare
all right.
Krishna. According to the Risha Padeva, one should not become a father or mother unless one is confident that he can beget children whom he can deliver from the clutches of birth and death. Human life is the only opportunity to get out of material sin, which is full of miseries of birth and death, old age and disease. Every human being should be given the opportunity to take advantage of his human form of life. And the father, like Kashyapa, is supposed to beget good children for the purpose of liberation. Hare Krishna.
Next verse,
Want me
please.
to carry on?
Finish
Next
off the word.
verse? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Pura pita no bhagavan daksho dyutri vatsalah kamvrutnitavaram vatsa iti aprachata na pratak. Translation, please, Mataji. Put it up. Hare Krishna. Whoops, is it gone too far? No. It appears from, yes, it has. In days long ago, our father, the most opulent Daksha, who was affectionate to his daughters, asked each of us separately whom we would prefer to select as our husband. It appears from the verse that free selection of a husband was allowed by the father, but not by free association. The daughters were asked separately to submit their selection of husband, who was famous for his acts and personality. The ultimate selection depended on the choice of the father. Hare
The
Krishna.
last verse, Mataji. One more verse, and then I can.
Okay. Saviditvatmajanamno bhavam santana bhavanah त्रयोदश सदत्तसं यस्ते शिलम् अनुवृत्तः. Our well-wishing father, if you can put it up for me, please. Our well-wishing father, Daksha, after knowing our intention, handed over 13 of his daughters unto you. And since then, we have all been faithful. Generally, the daughters were too shy to express their opinions before their father, but the father would accept the daughter's intentions through someone else, such as grandmother, to whom the grandchildren and free access. King Daksha collected the opinions of his daughters and thus handed over 13 to Kashyapa. Every one of Aditi's sisters was a mother of children. Therefore, since she was equally faithful to the same husband, why should she remain without children? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. So this chapter, I think it is such a wonderful chapter telling. Every chapter in Bhagavatam is wonderful. It has something or the other for us. So this is, I mean, the way how it is actually, the title of the chapter is Pregnancy of Diti in the Evening. So this is Garbhodharana of how Diti becomes pregnant, but it gives the importance of the timing of pregnancy and what mode a person is becoming pregnant. And so that will, there will be an outcome, the child will develop those characteristics. So that is something is important, which has been shown in Bhagavatam. It tells from how the child has been born till the person, till how from the time it has been conceived and then growing up and then all having all the qualities and then leaving this material world. Anything you ask is there in Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is the Amala Purana, is a complete Purana. It gives, every chapter has some story or the other. So for us, we need to take the summary or the essence of every chapter with our little bit materialistic minds, whatever we have. So the 4 verses which I have given is basically expression of here of how Diti, So who is Diti? Who is Diti? Diti is the daughter of Daksha. So Daksha, how many daughters does he have? He's got about 60 daughters, Daksha. Daksha has got 60 daughters, and then he gives away his daughters to big personalities so that they can generate the population. So like, who are the persons he gives up the daughters to? Just a little bit of the background so we know where we come from and how it is. So Diti's father is called Daksha. We know Daksha Prajapati. He's again the son of Brahma. So he's got 60 daughters, out of which he gives up some to Dharmaraja. He gives up 10 daughters to Dharmaraja. And then that way he distributes his daughters among the whole count. It is a bit, so 13 he gives to Kashyapa Muni. So Kashyapa Muni, he gives 13 first. And then Dharmaraja, he gives 10 daughters. Then the moon god Chandra, he gives them 27 daughters. And then he gives again a couple of the daughters to Angira, Krishrava and Bhuta. And then we still left 4 daughters, which he gives again to Kashyapa Muni. So Kashyapa Muni gets about 17 daughters. And Kashyapa Muni is an ardent fan of Lord Shiva also. I mean, he prays to Lord Vishnu, but he's also an ardent fan of Lord Shiva. Now we should understand that how, I mean, all of them are related to each other in some way or the other. But then over here, Kashyapa Muni's wives, who are they? They are like, he's got all these 13 sisters of them, right? The 10 daughters, the 13 daughters. In that, Aditi also comes, and Diti comes, and then Ila comes. And so all these wives, they give birth to their progeny. So not everybody has a human child, okay? So some of them are demigods, some of them are human beings, some of them are rakshasas, some of them are like trees, some of them are like aquatic animals, some of them are like different species. So they are basically here to give the different types of species. This is how the whole world has been built up. So now what happens is, obviously now these are her sisters and all of them have children. Now poor Diti doesn't have any children. And she becomes really, what's the word you do? Broody, basically. That's the word they use in English, right? Broody. When the other people have children, then the woman feels like having a child. And then now in Shastras, Vedic injunctures, there is always a time and tide for everything. And anything we do it with invocation of the prayer. So basically, when we are in this material world, we are so much servants to our senses. So, but a devotee is never servant to her senses. So if you are a devotee of the Lord, the senses are servant to you. So you become the Goswami, right? You become the Lord of the senses. So, but over here, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so you become the Lord of here. So over here, so Diti, now seeing her sisters, everybody has children. Now she craves for a child. And she really wants, as a mother, she wants to have a child. And then as a woman, she wants to really have a child. And then she doesn't realize that, I mean, her senses become so strong, so strong. So one thing to take away here is that if somebody is a devotee of the Lord, then you are basically detaching yourself from the senses. But because, I mean, it depends upon how much of devotion you have to the Lord, you might not be able to be so strong. So over here, what was happening with Diti was she was not able to control her senses. And then also when I look at it, even Kashyapa Muni, even though he's a great Muni, he was also not very strong enough because he was yielding to his wife. How much ever you say, he was still yielding. So there's always a clap happens when they're two hands clapping to each other. If one of them was at least a bit more strong, then things don't go the way they wanted it. But obviously he had a soft corner for his wife. She was very pretty, very beautiful. She was serving him very religiously, like any good wife does. But then she could not hold her senses. So she starts explaining to her husband like how she's feeling and what she's doing. In these 4 verses, this is what is her expression, basically. So in these 4 verses, she tries to tell that, I forgot the 10th verse. So she's telling her, normally, it is so difficult for, when somebody's from a very good family and very those this thing, they don't tend to express themselves so much, especially of the senses, because they feel that they'll be looked down upon. If anybody expresses their feelings, they feel that, oh my God, what is she? Why is she trying to show such feelings? It's not good. They try to keep it inside. But over here, Diti Ruvacha, she won't be able to, she's saying over here, that, oh, she's telling to her husband, she's saying that, oh my God, this Cupid, it looks like this Cupid, this Lord Kamadeva, what he's doing, he's taking his arrows from his quiver and he's trying to aim at me so much that I'm unable to control. So what does Kamadeva do? He aims at all these emotions, of desires, of lust mostly. And then how she explains it over here as how this mad elephant, when he sees a banana tree, oh my God, he becomes so crazy. Have you seen elephants actually going and raving the whole, banana plantation? They will trample everything. And they won't even care what is there. They will just go, for the bananas, for the big lump of bananas. We used to have these, used to come in, especially in West Bengal, lots of wild elephants are there, and they're very clever elephants. They have very strong sense of smell and direction. They would come and ravage this whole plantation, and they would actually go for bags of sugar and salt. They take with them and go. I don't know for what they have this, but they take them and go, and they to ravage literally everywhere. They wouldn't care anybody. So they become really mad. And have you ever seen you can see National Geographic Channel. See, all of us are quite, in this world, we are talking it so openly. I think in olden times, we don't even think anybody could talk openly about this sexual activity, the sexual life so openly, but it's this Kali Yuga where people don't even hesitate and they just talk it so openly. So how you see how a male elephant, how he literally rampages everywhere, and because he's full of lust. A similar way, Diti is trying to explain that she is really her sensual her senses are taking over her, and she's not able to sustain herself. People would say, like, how can a woman speak like that? But woman is also a person with a feeling. So it is so over here usually we always find like men will try to speak like that way, but over here Bhagavatam does not differentiate between men and women in that way, that everybody has a desire for and the senses can take over them and people express in a different way. So over here, so Diti is trying to explain that she is like her desire is like a mad elephant, yeah. And therefore, if it's a husband who's dutiful to the wife, should actually satisfy her desire. This is what she's trying to tell. Otherwise, if she doesn't have a husband, then she has to, for her desire, she has to go somewhere else. Like that, how you have men, people who are not in control of the desires, they go everywhere. So this is where you have to be very, very careful. So what you have to learn from here is, first of all, controlling your senses is very, very important. And I mean, that is why there's a difference over here now with the different varnashramas you have, right? We have the whole 4 varnashramas. I'm just jumping the topic a bit just to make you understand. So varnashramas, you have you have the brahmachari, and then you have the grahastha, and then you have the what is the thing when he go out? And then you have the sannyasa. There's the 4 things.
Brahmprastha.
Huh?
Brahmprastha?
No. After you retire. What do you call
Grihastha?
it? Vanaprastha. Okay.
Vanaprastha. Yeah.
Vanaprastha. So thank you, Mataji. So Vanaprastha and sannyasa. So grahastha is the only person who actually can, I mean, they can have sense gratification, or they can beget children, and then in a way the senses are gratified, but they do not inculcate the sin apparently. But whereas a brahmachari, vanaprastha, and a sannyasi, they should have good control of the senses, but if they deviate, then they get a bigger sin. So Srila Prabhupada tells in the future verses, he says, like grahastha, in that way, he's got the best of both worlds. That's what they try to do. And what happens is, that is why grahastha has to work hard, and whatever money he earns and everything, he has to serve these devotees, serve the 3 generations. Like you have the brahmanas, the vanaprasthas, and the sannyasas, because their main work is to involve in devotion or devotional service. So they don't have any time to go and work and everything. So it's the grahastha's duty to contribute for the service of these other 3 varnas. So over here, now we can understand like how we're going a bit more from grahastha to how how you have your goals or your sense organs, how you control them. Now over here, Diti, again, she's again begging to her husband, she's saying, please shower. I really can't control myself. Please have mercy on me. And she's saying that she's giving a reason why she's having this desire, because it's not because she just wants to have sex with the husband, but her main desire is to have a child. And that is becoming so overpowering that it is turning into like this way, And she feels, and it's basically that desire is so much as distressing, it's becoming to physical symptoms now. And that also comes with a bit of envy, because she's seeing all her sisters and who are her co-wives basically, and they are having children, and seeing them so happy and so opulent, she is feeling really, really poor, very poor in her mind. And therefore she is begging her husband that if you at least do this, maybe I can get a child and I'll become happy. And up here, Srila Prabhupada tries to, all glory to Srila Prabhupada, he tries to quote in this Bhagavad Gita, it's quoted that why is this act committed? This act is committed only for having children. And if you do that, then only it is right. It is not sinful. But if you are doing it only to satisfy your sense organs or your sexual desire or your sense gratification, then it becomes a sin. So over here now, Diti is trying to actually appeal. Now it's become like an appeal. It's looked like a courtroom, and there where they're appealing to her husband, for sex. It was not exactly that she was wanting to have whatever to gratify her senses, but she wanted sons. And then she felt like, as I explained. Now Kashyapa, and she says also, because you're my husband, it is your duty now. It is your duty. You cannot get away from your duty. This is your dharma. And this is what she's trying to, in a way, convince her husband, saying that, please do this. Now, over here, again, Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain in this other verse, what it says is that it is better that this woman has her desire fulfilled by a husband, and the husband should give the benediction rather than anybody else. And then she's also trying to say that by doing so, you will become a father of these famous children, and you'll become famous by becoming the father of the children. And what are the purpose of the children is so that they can expand the generations. So everybody wants to have a family so that their family can expand. And that is why they want to have the children. But in Kali Yuga, it is not like that. Now, the thing is, again, it is a very, very important thing as to see why do we want children and who should have children. So families, it should be very, very a conscious decision. It should not be like, oh, you just left and then you had children. It should not be that way. If you have children, it should be a very conscious decision, because even before conceiving, you have the garbhadharana where you have to purify your womb. Do you remember how when Devaki was supposed to have Krishna, Balrama comes in the first, and then Balrama comes first and he purifies the womb for Krishna to come and settle in the womb. Now, we have to purify ourselves first before conceiving, and they have various rituals for that. So day before yesterday, we were listening to this class, and it was so beautiful. I just wanted to tell you about what are the different times we have to purify ourselves, and the people do. So when before a person is born, okay. So before a person is born, there are about 16 samskaras a person has to do. I'm sure some of you must have heard it at that time, but I'll just repeat it. The first of all is the conception time. That's called the garbhadhana. So garbhadhana means you will have to purify your womb. And then once the baby is born, then you have again when the fetus is formed, then there's again a samskara for blessing the child. You remember when the child is before they're born, all the pregnant ladies, they have this, what is it called? They have a blessing where everybody comes and gives them blessings and gifts and everything. So that is the blessing the child and the mother. And then after that, then they have again when the child is born, and then when the naming of the child, and when the first time the child is taken out. Nowadays, it's not like that way. First day, they just take them out. It's not like that. You have to wait for a certain time. After 40 days or something like that way, then they take out. Then you have the annaprasana, the feeding time. That's also a samskara. Imagine cutting your hair is a big thing. For the child, it's such a big thing. I remember my nephew's hair was cut. Oh my God, he was crying because he didn't want to have his hair cut. For them, it is quite emotional. And then Karna Veda, ear piercing. That's also a samskara. When they start the Vidyarambha, that's a samskara. And then Upananya, when they have this thread ceremony for the boys, that's a samskara. And then Vedarambha, starting, in women and all that, in girls and all in South India and all that, when they have the first period, that time they have a samskara because it's a blessing the womb. They're trying to bless the womb in a way. Vedarambha, studying of Vedas, that's a samskara. Then shaving for the young men, that's a samskara. Graduation ceremony is a big thing, yeah? In foreign countries, it's a very big thing. India, nowadays, it's coming up. But before, when we used to go over there, I'm sure the colleges and all there. But having graduation is a very big thing. In America and all, it's quite big. That's the biggest wedding, actually. Then Vivaha. Next comes samskara is Vivaha. And the last one is Antyeshti, when you're leaving this world. So these are different samskaras, which as a Vedic culture, we are supposed to follow, but that's all lost now because we are so much into this Kali Yuga and so much modernization and wokeism going on. So obviously we have lost all that. So we need to revive those back because there's always a rhyme and reason why we do these things in this certain way. So over here, so Diti is trying to tell that because obviously your husband, you being a husband, you'll become famous by having all these children. So, and what over here we're trying to say is one should not become a mother and a father if they think they don't have the capacity to bring this child. Why you're bringing this child into this world? So that you teach them the right things so that they can be liberated from this materialistic existence and go back to Godhead. That is a big sacrifice. Why do parents sacrifice everything for the children? All of our parents do that. I'm sure all your parents and you're doing the same thing for your children, literally giving your time, money, your sleep. Some people don't have enough money also so that some people don't even eat. Olden times, nowadays everybody has enough food to eat, but olden times You will see in all these movies, the parents don't eat, but they feed the children. All these things are there. There's so much of sacrifice that's gone by the parents to look after the children. It's such a big, big, big responsibility. And that, what are you doing? You're doing to liberate them from these four things, birth, death, old age, and disease. And why do we do that? Because you are giving that particular soul, that chance. You have taken that responsibility to liberate this particular person from this materialistic existence. That is how parenthood should be. And that is why you need to teach them from the time they're born all the things. So nowadays in Krishna, I'm so happy that Krishna consciousness has become so much in vogue now, that you see young children, they're so lucky, they're so fortunate that they're able to hear about Krishna Katha from childhood, from the time of womb, basically from even in their mother's womb, and they are the inculcating all the beautiful characteristics, how to do the right things. And I'm sure they will become such strong devotees, and most of them become, lots of brahmacharis are becoming nowadays, you see, because that the devotion is so strong for them that they want to become a brahmachari. So that is one of the main reasons for becoming a parent. And it is a very big responsibility. And I'm sure all of you are doing the same. So now, again, over here, what's the 14th verse? It says is that how the daughter, look at the daughter's position over here, is always much, much more higher than the son. Even though son looks after the kingdom and all that, but they always adore the daughters. So they don't just forcefully give up the daughters to anybody, but they try to find out what the daughters, who does she like, if she wants to get married to someone. And the father can't ask directly, because that's how it used to be. So through whoever the child is very close to the mother or to the grandmother, they want to find the views of the daughter. So they don't forcefully marry them off. So all of them, imagine, see, or in the olden times, can you see the daughters always, they had a swayambara, they could choose their own husbands, and that was the freeness of the thought of mind. So you can imagine how the Sanatana Dharma has such openness of mind. And over here, so you can see how we had Sita Kalyanam, so where Sri Ram was supposed to break the bow of Shiva. And they had to have this over. This is again, the father wants to see that the son-in-law should be strong enough, or should have that enough personality to look after his daughter. So the same way you had again how Arjuna does how he pierces the eye of the fish, and then he gets Draupadi. The same way, you have lots of swayamvaras. When you go into the old and lots of kathas, you will find lots of swayamvaras. People are not the daughters are given that privilege to choose the husband. But obviously, the final acceptance will be the father should say, yes, he's the right person. And same thing happens nowadays also when you see when somebody, in this English culture, even though it is, you can see that the son, the girl's, the boyfriend or whatever it is, he has to still go and ask the father for acceptance that he wants to take his daughter. I don't know whether anybody has seen before coming to Krishna consciousness, Pride and Prejudice. There was a movie, and where actually every person would have to ask the permission of the father, and if the father likes, then only he will be able to take the daughter and go and get married. So this is how, again, over here it is being said. Now I just wanted to bring about how then what happens with Diti. So Diti, what you'll know how, then she ends up obviously convincing her husband. And then now, even though what happens, Kashyapa Muni will try to not want to be in that situation, and he will try to say that, oh, the other wives are there, let me, in a way, I hope nobody else approaches me, and that he was trying to persuade her not to have this relationship now. And so that he knows that in this, it is very inauspicious time, So there's a time for each and everything, even begetting a child also, or conceiving also, there is a auspicious time. So they have like muhurtas, Brahma muhurtas, and I think in one of the Ayurveda books we read, like apparently it's supposed to be the early morning is the Brahma muhurta. That's the mode of goodness, and that's the best time to conceive. But obviously with prayers and everything, I'll have to do. So evening time is not good. Why is it not good? Because in the evening, before olden times, they would say not to do certain things in the evening because you're not supposed to go out in the evening. You're not supposed to leave your hair open in the evening. You're not supposed to do. Evening time was because there were lots of ghosts moving around, and they in this. The future verses that will come out. So who is the Lord of the ghosts over here is Rudra. Rudra is Lord Shiva. And who is Lord Shiva over here? How is it related to Diti? So Diti's younger sister, Sati's husband is Lord Shiva. So Kashyapa's co-brother-in-law, he calls him as his brother because his wife's sister's husband. So they become like brothers. So he tells, obviously, I'm just trying to tell you, I don't want to spoil the story, but I'm just a little bit fair. This it becoming the future things versus that how Kashyapa will try to warn her to say that do not do this is not the right time because Lord Shiva is moving around with his whole army of ghosts. And who are these ghosts? The ghosts, and why are they moving around this time? If somebody is conceiving at this time or in the night time or not the right time, these ghosts are being they are the ones who will be conceived rather than a devotee. So these ghosts are nothing. They want a material body so that they can be liberated. But then when they are liberated, obviously they will not have the good qualities, and so therefore and nobody can escape. You might think like, oh, you might be in a sheltered place and where Shiva can't see, but Shiva has Trinetra. He's got 3 eyes. So one is the eye is the sun, and one is the moon, and the third eye is the fire. He can see through anything. And then, this is where, nobody can escape Shiva's vision. So this is what Lord Kashyapa Muni will be trying to warn Diti, but obviously it overtakes, and then obviously they have a relationship, and then obviously the children are born from there, from Diti's womb, and who would be born from there would be like, obviously they are the demons, and they will have all the characters of the demons because they were conceived at the most inauspicious time. But then Diti will feel, actually after the act, she feels very, very ashamed, and she regrets actually. And then she goes to Kashyapa because she's actually forced him to take part. And because of this, she tries again to rationalize. And then he says like, because of this, you're going to have these type of children, And then, but then he also explains to her that out of these children, they will be killed by obviously Lord Narayana, and from them, but she'll be also lucky to have grandchildren who will be more pious. So you'll have Prahlada coming from Hiranyakashipu's obviously lineage, and then obviously from Prahlada again you'll have Bali Maharaj, and you'll have all these. So that in that way she'll try to compensate, to think that okay, I've done a sin, but at least I've been a little bit relieved by having a devotee in the lineage who can, and plus she'll be very in a way she'll try to pacify herself, saying that they'll be killed by Narayana or by Lord Vishnu, and who is none other. Nobody gets a chance to have being killed by the Lord, and who can just achieve liberation. So she'll be happy in that way, even though she's very sad that this happened and it will be demoniac child, but because they'll be liberated, she'll be very, very, Diti will be very, very happy. Now, after having these 2 sons, a little bit more story I want to tell about Diti also. is that so the Diti will have Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyaksha, you know, right? How Lord Varahadev, we went through this chapter from Lord Varahadev, where Lord Varaha, the Chakshusha Varaha, the one in the 6th Manvantara, that Varaha, the red Varaha, he will kill Hiranyaksha, because obviously Hiranyaksha will literally, he will he will be, he's basically bring so much of what do you say, disturbance in the heavenly kingdoms, and then obviously Lord Vara will come and kill him. And then Hiranyakashipu, you know how Lord Narsimha will come and kill Hiranyakashipu. Now Diti will have 2 sons, right? So both the sons are dead now. Now, but what happens with Diti is she gets really very angry with Indra. Because of Indra, Lord Vishnu comes down to kill Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Okay, because Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they're treacherous. They will try to create havoc in the heavens. So Indra is the main demigod over there to look after the heavens, look after the kingdom. And because his throne is at stake, so then Lord, obviously Vishnu comes down to help the devotees. And obviously Lord Prahlada will be calling for help over here. And then obviously you have all the sages who will be trying to call for help for Lord Varaha. And they are killed. Then Lord, the Diti is very, very angry with Indra. So she wanted to kill Indra now. And she wanted to kill Indra. So she will again ask Kashyapa Muni to give me a child who would avenge the death of my other sons. And now Kashyapa Muni will say, oh my God, now she's making me do another one more big sin now. And so how we will try to avoid her is that by saying that, okay, fine, I will try to do that, but you have to undergo these severe penances. And what are the severe penances? Is that to become a devotee of Vishnu to do everything, whatever is like a devotee, to pray like a devotee. And that is for a good 1 year. So there are lots of restrictions over there for Diti to follow in that, and that she should get up early in the morning. Then she should, you see how a devotee should follow lots of rituals, they have to get up early in the morning, take bath, and then serve the husband, and then what should not, even she goes out, she should wash her hands and feet even after she's eaten, then have to clean herself properly. Everything, there are lots and lots of restrictions to do, and plus to go on doing your yagnas and prayers and everything. So which Diti will do in a very religious ritual do. And but he gives a warning that in case if you fail to in any of these restrictions, in the rituals, if you fail any of them, then what will happen? The child who's supposed to be the enemy of Indra will become his friend. So your thing will not be fulfilled, your wish will not be fulfilled, and she will agree to it. So Indra now he hears all about this, and then he comes and he takes a different form, and he tries to serve Diti. And so he wants to be close to Diti, so that some way or the other, he wanted to see that whenever she fails in this rituals and the restrictions, then he will take advantage, and then he will try to kill her son. So initially he will take, obviously Indra will not bring out his, he will not let his identity know, and he will be serving Diti, and she'll be very, very happy. In some way he's an aunt somewhere, so whatever it is, so he will be serving her very religiously. And then what happens? Then she conceives, and then she'll be having this child in her womb, and she'll be doing all these, she'll be a devotee of Vishnu, basically totally trying to do all the things as a Vaishnava would do, and she becomes really a good Vaishnavi in a way. But then one evening she becomes so tired after eating, she forgets to wash her mouth, and then she sleeps off. So that's a fault now, a sin. And so Indra takes advantage of this, and then he goes into the womb, and then he slices off the womb into 7 pieces, but they don't die, and they are still alive over there, and they're so bright and very gold-like, and they're still, the womb is still still kicking and live. Then he gets really so then he cuts each of these pieces into 7 more pieces. So altogether 49 pieces of this the womb is cut into, but they never die. And then what happens? Then he realizes, and he comes out anyway in the morning. Then when Diti wakes up in the morning, she'll find these 49 beautiful babies over there, but none of them die, and they are called Maruts. And what happens? They become they actually pray to Indra, and then Indra will say, okay, Indra saves them, so they become friends of Indra. And then Diti will come to know of it. And anyway, so these Maruts, who are who are demons, become demigods. So that's the biggest step they have taken from demons to demigods, because of Diti being so pious and so devoted, and she was a Vaishnavi. And so in a way, Kashyapa Muni achieve what he wants, and then she will forgive Indra, and then she will be very happy that her son, these 49 Maruts, favor Indra. So that's one more story of Diti. But over here, what we have to understand, the takeaway message from here is that obviously we are in Kali Yuga, and as we know, we have, especially the more so in the Western world now, India is also becoming more modern, westernized, where quite a lot of people are not realizing sense gratification is taking over like crazy. So people don't even care what they do. So that is something, being in this Krishna consciousness, you all can bring Sanatana Dharma back into place, basically, in a way that the children can, if you have if you teach them the right thing from a very young child, or if we follow that dharma, you don't have to tell them, they can see what the parents do, and the children will just copy them, and they will see. These are unheard things, or you don't have to speak every word, the silence or the act, everything the children can imbibe very, even the walls can soak in, anything you do. So basically, we are very, very fortunate to be in this Krishna consciousness, and to learn about different things. And what we always have to learn is take the good things. We're in a Western society, take the good things from the society. Take the good things from the Indian society, leave the bad things. So that is what we are all here for. Our main purpose is this life which we have. We have to also learn how to what to do that we can liberate ourselves or become the devotee of Krishna. So one more thing I really wanted to know. So what's the difference between japa and kirtana, please, if anybody knows? What is japa? So japa is something. So japa is the Mahamantra, is a mantra which we say in our mouth, where we can only hear. That's called japa. But when we shout the mantra out loudly, it becomes kirtana. Okay. So Mahamantra, why is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is called the Mahamantra? Because you can do it as a japa and you can do it as a kirtana also. That's why it is called Mahamantra. So all of us are so lucky that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given us this wonderful gift, this golden avatar. He had come and given us this gift, so that we can chant this name and purify ourselves. And who else can we get the best this thing from? And also an example I wanted to say, or just Haridasa Thakur, just I'll park it aside, is that not every Brahmana will give birth to a Brahmanical child or a Brahmana child. So even Kashyapa Muni, see, Ravana was born from a Brahmana, but he was not a Brahmana. I mean, he's a Brahmana in a way that he was born from a Brahmana child, but all his qualities are non-Brahmanical. Okay. So then whereas you can have Haridasa Thakur, who is not a Brahmana, but he was not even a Hindu, he was a Muslim, but he was more great than a Brahmana because he used to chant Harinam at least 3 lakh times a day. That is what he used to do. So the takeaway lesson is sense control. You have to be Goswamis. That is the main thing. And there's a time and tide for everything. Go through the scriptures, learn properly. I'm sure you'll be having children, grandchildren. You all can, as parents, as siblings, as brothers, sisters, families, whatever it is, you all can tell them if somebody wants to have a child, there's a procedure how to go through, and we should try to inculcate those samskaras again. And hopefully everything will work out well. So I think I'm going to stop the chapter here, and the floor is open for questions. Please forgive me for any mistakes, and please, I'm more than happy to have the comments and any questions. Hare Krishna. Any questions at all? Should we just, if no questions, should we just sing Chaurashtakam?
Yes, Mataji, if you'd like to.
Mataji, no questions at all? This is a lovely song by Bilva Mangala Thakura. And this is obviously about, this is again KK songs, Mataji, if you'll want, if you have time. Vraje Prasiddham, Navanita Chauram, yeah.
Is it this one, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jyoti Mataji. Absolutely right. Would you like to sing?
No, I can't sing, Mataji. I can read English, but I can't sing, Mataji. Sorry.
Anybody, any volunteer? This is a lovely song, though. Okay, I'll just sing it quickly then. At least I think people want to go home. Vraje Prasiddham Navanita Chauram Gopagananam Chadukula Chauram Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami Sri Radhikaya Hridayasya Chauram Navambuddha Shamala Kanti Chauram Padasritanam cha samasta chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami Akinchani Kritya Padashritam Yaha Karoti Bhikshum Pati Gehahinam Kenapyaho Bhishana Chauraye Drik Drishtasruto Vana Jagatrayepi Yadiyanamapi Haratya Shesham Giri Prasharanapi Paparashin Ascharya Rupo Nano Chauraedre Drishtasruto Vana Maya Kadapi Dhanam cha manam cha tatendriya ni pranam cha ritva mama sarvameva Valayashe kutra tritodya chaura damnasi maya niruddha chinnasti ghoram yama pasha bandham Bhinnasti bhimam bhava pashabandham Chinnasti sarvasya samasta bandham Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham Manmanase tamasarasi ghore Karagre dukkha mayene baddha Labhasva he chora हरे चिराय स्वचौर्यदोषोचितमेव दण्डम् कराग्रे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्ति पाशदृढ बन्धना निश्चलासन् त्वं कृष्ण हे प्रलय कोटि शतन्तरेऽपि सर्वस्वचौरा हृदया नहि मोचयामि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Jai Shri Krishna. Somebody can read the verses, Mataji, if somebody is willing to read it. Thank you
Hare
so much for
Krishna.
this.
Can I?
Yes, Mataji, one of you, please read, whoever.
Jyoti
Please go
Mataji,
ahead.
go on. You can do it.
Sure, Mataji.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Or you all can do half if you want. You can do 4, you can do 4.
Yeah, I'll read 1 to 4. Then Mataji, you can read 5 to 8.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves who is famous in Raja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have occurred over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves who steals Srimati Radharani's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wanderings, homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the 3 worlds. May utterance of his name purges one on a mountain of sins. Such an astonishing, wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion.
Mataji, can you do it a bit louder? You're very soft.
I think I'm down. That's fine. Can you hear me now properly?
Yes, Mataji. Please read that again, Mataji.
Okay. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible nose, O Yamraj. You
Nose.
sever the dreadful
Nose.
noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage. But you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance, and therefore very long time, you will remain receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes, O thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the news of my devotion remaining forever time. You will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart because I will not release you for millions of, sorry, I can't see. Is it
Eons. That's fine.
eons? Yeah, there's a little pen on over it. Sorry, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Absolutely wonderful. So the last line is so beautiful. It says, you continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of years. That's the best part of that. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Matajis and Prabhujis, everyone. So should we just say the Vancha? We are exactly 2100, Mataji, 9 o'clock. Should we say a Vancha Kalpata prayers?
Yes, please, Mataji, let's do it.
Yes, Mataji. Vancha
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Guru Maharaj
Srimad
ki
Bhagavatam
Jai.
ki
Jai. Nice class,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Krishna.
so much,
Thank you so
Mataji.
much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Jyoti Mataji. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you.